Hey everyone, Ben here again with another video for Fluent in Finance, the channel dedicated to all things personal finance, teaching you all those things that school never prepared you for. I mean, seriously, when's the last time you needed to know that mitochondria is what allows for cellular respiration? So today we're going to be talking about the single most unstoppable force in the universe. No, not that unstoppable force. Today we're going to be talking about what was once referred to by world-renowned physicist Albert Einstein as the eighth wonder of the world. That's right, we're talking about compound interest. Einstein was once quoted as saying, "He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." When you invest your money, you hope to gain a return on that investment. So let's just say that you invest $100 at a 10% interest rate. This means in your first year you would have earned $10 in interest. Not bad. In the second year, you would not only earn interest on your original $100 that you had invested, but you would also earn interest on the income that you had generated last year, that extra 10 bucks. This means that this year, instead of making $10, you will actually earn 11 bucks. Congratulations, you made an extra buck. Big deal, right? Well, it kind of is a big deal. You see, while an extra dollar may not sound like a lot, and it's not, but over time, that slight difference in yearly gain begins to grow. You see, in your first year, you earned some interest, and the second year, you earned interest on the interest, and your third year, you earn interest on the interest on the interest, and you get the point. Each year, that extra little bit of income begins to grow a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit more, until eventually that little bit isn't very little anymore. Now, the rate at which all of this happens is based on two factors: time and your rate of return. The higher your rate of return and the longer you allow for your money to compound, the more astronomical your final results will be. Let's start by looking at time. This simple chart, provided by Money Under 30, shows you exactly how much money you would need to save every month in order to retire a millionaire, based on how many years your money was available to compound. So if you wanted to retire at age 65 and you started saving at 25, roughly right out of college, then you would have had 40 years for your money to grow. And at an annual interest rate of 10%, which is roughly about the historical average return from the stock market, you would need to invest about $179 each and every month in order to retire as a millionaire. If instead you began your investing career a little bit later and started at age 35 instead of 25, you would need to invest over $480 each month in order to retire a millionaire. That's about 170% more each and every month. As you can see, the amount of money that you need to save every month varies dramatically based on how long that money is available to compound. The earlier you begin saving, the less money is needed to invest to achieve the same results. Now, some of you might be saying, but Ben, I'm already 40 or 50 or 60 years old. I wish I had invested earlier, but I didn't. So investing for me now is pointless. There just isn't enough time left. There's an ancient Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You can't change the past, but you can make the most of your future. And you do that by starting to invest today with whatever amount of money you have available. Now, realistically, we're all going to die at some point. So there's a limited amount of time that our money is available to compound. But let's ignore this for just a moment and let's look at some ridiculously long investing timelines. As a brief history lesson, all the way back in 1626, a representative from the Dutch West Indian Company bought from the Delaware Indians what is now known as the island of Manhattan for about $24. Now, adjusted for inflation, this is the equivalent to about $1,000 in today's money. Manhattan boasts some of the most expensive real estate in the entire world. So the idea that somebody sold all of this for the equivalent of about $1,000 sounds like a terrible deal. And it was. The Indians got hosed. But let's run with those numbers anyway. If those $24 were invested in 1626 and earned an average of 10% per year return until today, almost 400 years later, then that money would have began to grow. Slowly at first, but it would grow. In fact, it would grow to almost $488 quadrillion. Now, to put that into perspective of just how many zeros that is, this is 1 billion. In fact, in 2011, researchers attempted to put a dollar value on the entire planet Earth. And their research concluded that Earth, as a whole, is worth about $5 quadrillion. That means that investing this $24 at a 10% rate of return over a 400-year time span would have grown to enough money to purchase the entire Earth almost 100 times over. Now, of course, this is not practical, as you can't earn interest when you already own literally everything on the planet, but this does show you the ridiculous power of compounding for very long time frames. This is the same principle that allows for some families to build generational wealth that will be able to provide for their children and their children's children, and so on down the line indefinitely. Now that we've examined how time affects the compounding, let's take a look at various rates of return. As you can see, 10,000 will turn into 102,000 over 40-year time frame at a 6% rate of return. Not bad. But this will shoot all the way up to 217,000 at only an 8% rate of return. And if you're able to sustain a 12% rate of return, that number jumps up to almost $1 million. 930,000 to be exact. As you can see, as the amount of interest that we earn increases slightly, the overall amount of money that we earn over our lifetime increases dramatically. Now, just for fun, let's add one more column to this chart. Let's see what happens at a 17.3% rate of return. That thing just shoots off the charts and makes everything else look puny in comparison. Now, if you're wondering why I chose a weird number like 17.3%, that's because that is the average rate of return that credit card companies charge you based on any remaining balance that is carried over from the previous month. You see, credit card debt is compounding interest, except in reverse. Instead of working for you and helping to make you wealthy, it is now working against you and keeping you perpetually broke. So if you are carrying a credit card balance each and every month, then just know that that amount of interest that you pay, while it may not seem significant, that interest is crippling your financial future. You see, none of us are going to live forever. At some point, we all get old and beat up, and we have to stop working for one reason or another. So the goal is not to simply work for money, because at some point we can just no longer work. Instead, the goal should be to have your money work for you. That way, whenever that point in your life comes where you decide that you are no longer able to work, that you still have a passive income coming in so that you can live off of. And the sooner you start to save, the more money that you will have in retirement to enjoy. So there you have it, the power of compounding interest. Now, if you watched the video this long, it means you probably enjoyed it. So like the video, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all again next time.